Welcome to the Smash Masters podcast, hosted by Stefan Eschi and Nick Priest. This is where we dig into the auto body collision repair field and talk quality repair methods and how the industry is always changing. Buckle up, it gonna get bumpy.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Smash Masters podcast, episode 49.
Yeah, 49.
How are we today, Gregory and Alex?
Nice and early.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex. Got my Mo Clamp shirt on.
Man, you got to start logging in at noon to keep up with these guys, Alex.
Yeah, Gregory got you beat.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen often.
Got some competition now in the area. So, yeah. So what's been going on? We took a week off and
nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed. No, I'm sure. I'm sure people.
Yeah, I'm just giving you guys crap, but I did expect like at one note, like, whoa, no Smash Masters and nothing. But it's fine.
People's got stuff to do. Alex said he noticed.
Alex noticed. I believe that for sure. Actually,
yeah, for sure. I believe that.
Well, we're back, and we got a great show for you tonight. Somebody we've been trying to get on for quite a while. But before we get into that, you have any recent news or anything there, Nick? Anything to talk about?
Not really, other than we've been getting some pretty crazy storms across the country here the last month now. Sure. Well, probably not month, last few weeks, I'll say. And we got some more coming through this week. So if you guys out here are doing PDR work or shops are slow, hopefully this brings work in for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I see
some people. I see some people starting to chase those storms. So good luck out there, guys. And
yeah,
smaller dents, bigger dollars, as Craig Dyer would say.
That's what he says. Absolutely.
That's right.
All right.
All right. So we've got Alex in the back room. He's posts on at least Instagram as Tesla Surgeon. Some pretty cool content. If you don't follow him, go give him a follow. It's pretty easy. Just Tesla Surgeon. Right. Let's bring him out here and learn more about.
Let's go.
Learn more about Alex.
What's up, Alex?
Hey, how you doing?
How are you doing? And thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Cass over on Instagram says hi, friend. So what's up, Cass? How you doing?
Nice. We actually are not live on TikTok because I hit the go live button on the TikTok app and it gave me an error, so I closed it.
Cool.
So next week we'll be back on TikTok. Not this. Nobody watches on TikTok anyway. So, but Alex, thanks for coming on. You are from Georgia, right?
Yes, sir. So Georgia, moved here in 2018.
Okay, so not from there originally.
I moved around a little bit, background and everything. So yeah, but I love Georgia. Don't plan on leaving anytime soon.
All right.
Nice. And so that's around when you started your collision repair journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. That's actually the reason I moved to the Atlanta area in Georgia.
Okay.
I was previously in the military, and in that they had a transition tech program. So as I was transitioning out of the military, they basically taught me everything, got me all the basic certifications, all the ICAR certifications. I think there was like 40, 50 of them, and then the structural 1, 2, and 3 classes as well. And it was a 16-week program, and that kind of became my place of duty. And so that was nice because while I was still in the military, I didn't have to shave as often. So being someone who grew at 5 o'clock shadow by noon, so it was nice. But it was a program through Caliber Collision, and they paid for everything. They even set us up for, as soon as I got to the job location, they had a toolbox with about 10 grand worth of tools that I could use.
Wow.
I worked with the company for 3 years. I got to keep everything.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Even better. That's pretty cool. So these were brand new tools.
Yeah, brand new tools. Like I unboxed everything. basic impacts, pick tools, and I mean, it saved a lot of money. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because I injury
Right.
just to start in this
That's a hell of an unboxing, right? 10K worth of stuff.
Oh yeah, it was like Christmas. Feel like a little kid out there, just like taking everything out. And me being a new tech at the time, when I actually showed up to the shop, I was still an apprentice. So I worked for a guy named Tim, who probably one of the best techs I've ever worked with, and I just shadowed him for about 2 months, and then it was a shop with about 5 technicians, but they were all a bit older, on the older side, probably
Okay.
later 50s, early 50s.
Yeah.
And so what happened was my manager, he got someone, younger in their mid 20s, and he was excited. So he would push me a lot to do all the structural stuff that the older guys just didn't want to do anymore. And so
Feel
it
that.
really pushed me
Same
to
here.
Oh, you got
Oh yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like going back a little bit to the military stuff, what kind of got you like leading into that path? Was it to work on anything in there specific, or what
like
interest
as far
military
as
did you
like
have?
your military?
Yeah, like
Yeah. So my MOS, which is just like my job occupation, was
Mhm.
11 Bravo. So it was infantry, but I was in a special operations unit, 75th Ranger Regiment, for the first 3 years, and then when I was transitioning out of the military, then I ended up going to Fort Bragg, and I was with 82nd Airborne Unit, and I was with them for about a year and a half, and then that last 6 months was kind of getting out and then doing, like I said, that transition tech program kind of became
okay,
my duty. Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
all right, nice.
And so that transition program was sponsored by Caliber, or that was all
Yeah.
military?
So
Oh,
funny.
wow.
No, it was actually sponsored by Caliber, and I had no idea. And to be quite honest, I was walking through like the VA, kind of just doing the out processing of everything. And there was a little booth set up, and a guy, he's like, "Hey, you want to come talk to me real quick?" I was like, "Okay." He's like, "What are you gonna do when you get out of the military?" I was like, "Well, I'm going to Georgia State University, so I'll be moving to Georgia." And I'd already been enrolled, and he's like, "Well, do you have a job lined up?" And so we kind of started talking a little bit, and it what kind of worked out to my benefit, just to help me so I wasn't eating top ramen while going to school straight out of the military, helped me have a job that I didn't even know existed, to be honest. Because before
Yeah.
2018, I've like done basic stuff to a car, like, take a wheel off,
Yeah,
change
right.
Sure.
oil, like basic stuff. But I didn't even know what a fender liner was. And
Yeah.
so he kind of broke down, we'll teach you all of the basics. We'll run you through welding certifications, and then we'll just set you up with a shop. So then once you get there, you'll be an apprentice to a senior technician, and then they can kind of shadow you. You can shadow them for a little bit.
So,
Wow.
not knowing what kind of position you would be in collision repair, like what did you have in mind to actually do? What was something that you had like a passion for, or
So I was actually going to school to be a physical therapist.
okay,
I love the human body, and me personally, I just really enjoy how things work and function. And corrective exercise was something that I just was. I understood biomechanics very well, and so it was a good translation to serve people, to help people, and also stay fit and active, and just continue that path. So that's what I was going to school for.
oh, okay.
Cool.
That's
Cool.
kind of cool. So, I mean, I guess there's some similarities there in repairing vehicles and making sure they're healthy and
Yeah, cars
Yeah.
cars
Yeah.
don't toss back as much.
Right,
Unless
right,
it's old or you got to troubleshoot something.
yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. So yeah, so the when you were getting into the bodywork, 2018, probably weren't doing much glue pulling at that point, right? I mean, did you play with a stud gun?
Zero glue pulling. Yeah, it had stud guns, used welding plates. Because at the time, I didn't actually start working on Teslas until 2021. And so I started just on Hondas, Acuras, Toyotas, all the basic cars. And it was just normal repairs, what were traditional repairs, I guess you could call them. And the stud guns even had like a dent puller, the Maxi, it's nagel dent puller.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, I'm at the time when I was fresh, because fixing a 3-hour, 4-hour dent took me at like when you're first starting, it takes you probably twice as long to fix that.
Yeah, so, at least 10 hours.
Yeah, you start creating more of a mess than you actually are fixing. But luckily for me, over sanding, just oil canning. It's just a whole. Oh man, those days were fun. But the apprentice the guy that I was working for, because the program benefited him too, because I was on an hourly rate, and he would still get all of the flag hours that I would produce, and I was hungry, so I was working 60 hours a week and just working to get better at what I wanted to do. And so obviously he was like, okay, so I'm earning from him, and he would teach me a lot. His metal work was really, really good, and he really prioritized if you just trying to get it to the point where you just had to use like a putty coat, and really just eliminating like cave and pave kind of jobs.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of I don't know. I want to say stress. The shops just want you to get it into filler, and then when you're learning, you're like, okay, I think I can get it to the filler now. But you're screwing yourself, because then you're fighting those extra low spots. You're not putting enough filler in because it's too low, and you just created a problem. Which we all know now. But when you're new like that, it's like, oh, the boss wants it in filler, so I'm going to put it in filler. So that's awesome that you had a different approach from your mentor, saying, nah, get that metal right, and I wish I learned that way. I know it now.
Yeah,
I had to learn it the wrong way.
That's the better way, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I also got both sides of the spectrum, because about 2 months in, he had to move to Florida, so then I had to pivot and work with someone else who was more about, because it was a production shop. So it was about turning hours. It was about getting cars in and out as quick as possible, the metrics with all of that fun stuff. And so when you're playing the insurance game, they don't care maybe about having the highest quality. They just care about what they see on paper and how much they're going to pay. And so when I transitioned to the different technician that I was working for, he was all about speed. Like, this guy was fast, and I'm talking like he was really fast. But obviously with the speed comes cutting corners. And so I got to see different methods of not good or bad, but just different methods of doing different things. And so I just kind of learned, okay, I can take this, I can take that, I can piece it together, and then slowly build my method.
Right, and that's how you that's how you become the most efficient, by taking something that somebody else does and building it and making it your own. Absolutely.
There's something to be said about that too. I mean, you need to be able to do kind of both ends of the spectrum, because not everybody's looking for that perfect job, and sometimes the boss is looking at you. You're on a Hyundai Elantra, making it perfect. It's like, it's not a 911 guy, like, come on, let's go. It is good to learn both aspects of that. I mean, we all want to strive to do quality work no matter what, but some work is faster than others,
And I've learned the pros and cons of both. So obviously faster work, more hours. You guys know the game of are both of you guys on commission as well?
Well, I'm full-time PDR, and he's in body shop. I'm assuming yours is commission, right?
Yes, mine.
Me,
Yeah.
so mine is it's hourly with a monthly team-based commission. So my team works to get to a number, and then it's divvied up between us at the, every month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still it's commission based.
You
It can be
mentioned a
tough.
team. Do you manage a team yourself, or how does that work?
No, there is one technician who is the team leader. It's not me. I'm still kind of new at this company. I'm
Mm,
about to hit my 1 year mark here at this place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's I do like the team aspect for a lot of reasons. I mean, for instance, at the end of the week, painter's got nothing else to paint. We were trying to get things done. He'll come to the front, start buffing and helping you put it together.
mm.
I've never seen that anywhere else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they just want to take care of what's in their booth and sit on their ass the rest of the time. I'll take that back. I've seen some other painters do a lot of prepping too, but
Mm.
seen a lot of them just sit on their butts a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool to see that. So that's where it's cool with the team aspect. Then what's not so cool is when someone on your team doesn't care as much about getting things done and cares more about talking to their girlfriend on their phone,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be a little tough to watch being on somebody's team
Oh,
with that.
they're in love.
Yeah. Stefan
That's funny.
taking the painter's work. Yeah, I just start PDRing everything, then they have nothing to paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Right. I think he's on his way, Joshua. I think he's on his way.
Time will
I know
tell.
I've actually, Stefan, it's been cool kind of watching your transition. I think I found you on Instagram um, a little over a year ago.
It's
I
probably been
think
over a
whenever
year
you
now.
first made your logo, I don't remember exactly when that was, like the
About a
new
year.
logo.
Yeah. Yep.
And just seeing the transition and then you getting excited about the glue pulling and the PDR methods, uh, it's been pretty exciting. Like I get excited for you now. I'll see
Awesome.
different videos and stuff. It's like, man, this is awesome. Watching you grow is just it's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. No, that means a lot. I enjoy sharing my what I've been learning. I don't as much enjoy watching my videos. So like TikTok will give me my videos from a year ago, and I'll bring them up and it'll be a glue pulling video, and I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
this will be good to post. And I'm watching myself do the glue pulling. I'm like, why did you choose that tab? What are you doing? Like,
This is
I can't post this. But it's cool because I'm watching it and I'm like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
I've come that far in 1 year,
yeah, it's crazy.
So
Yeah.
it is and then to hear people say that like you just did, it's
Mm.
I love hearing it, so thank you, appreciate it.
Have you had
um
that same experience, Nick, with your people? Like with your, how long have you been doing PDR work for?
I started it in 2020. I didn't really say anything about it because I was like, well, I don't want to post any. I'm like the exact opposite of what Stefan does. Stefan, he'll go out here and he'll be like, he'll tell everybody every single in and out of everything, and I'm over here like, well, I got to learn this because somebody will probably call me trash or something, and I ain't really down with all that. So I get in there and I just spend time on it and I just figure stuff out. Mainly because ADHD will take over and I'll just get tunnel visioned and
Yes.
sometimes I want to post videos about stuff and I'll have my phone in my hand about to take a video of something. Somebody will call, I'll set it down, I'll get to working. It's way,
it's too late.
more repaired than what I've
You
done.
missed the action
And
shot.
I'm like, come on, man, why do you do that? But stuff like that happens to me all the time. So being as dedicated as Stefan is about documenting all these journeys, like I couldn't do it personally.
Mm.
It's cool
It's
to see
tough.
his though, like you're talking about. It is cool. I've seen videos of mine. I started posting videos 2022, I think. And
Yeah, sounds right.
prior to that, I didn't have really
What's
any
up, Corey?
social media or anything like that. So I was new to pictures, angles, videos, what you can and can't do with stuff. Like you don't know what you don't know type thing.
Right.
So just posting my collision work and from this, that, and the other, and just trying new things. And I have like an outside of box mentality when it comes to stuff. So usually the tools that they're designed for, I don't really use them for that. Obviously, most of the time you do, but I'll just do random things with it to make stuff work. And I've seen a lot of that type of stuff over my videos through the years, and I'm like, it's like you said, come a long way, and it's pretty cool.
I
Pretty
like
cool to see
so
stuff.
I like seeing Nick's progression with doing the videos. His videos have gotten 10 times better than when we first started talking. Like 100 times better.
Mm-hmm.
So do
100
you,
times
Right,
better.
right.
on YouTube and everything, you guys edit everything yourselves? And then, like, how do you guys, so what's the process that you'll take whenever you're filming, like in the shop, when you set it up and everything, and then you'll do editing? I don't know if you guys do that yourself or have someone do it. How does that work?
I do all my own stuff, everything on the phone, everything. So I'll do all my recording at work. I might use those new Meta Ray-Ban glasses now. I bought a set of those. Those things are awesome for
Oh,
content.
nice.
Yeah.
But between that and then all I do, the glasses are great too, because you take them off and you fold them up and they just transfer automatically to your phone. And all
Oh,
the
that's
files are right there in your phone. So it's
yeah.
as if you took it on your phone. And then
I
you
might
just do all
actually
your
look into
editing right there on the phone. So yeah, I've been doing it all. It took hours, endless hours of coming home and staring at a screen and editing to
Yeah,
build my
right.
channels. But
Well,
I
because
mean, I'm
that's what
sure
I
you're
found.
somewhat familiar with that. I mean, you do your own videos, which I've been very impressed with. Um,
Yeah, lots
you
of
touched
detail
on
in them.
Nick touched on haters. Do you get any haters in your videos ever?
Um, I don't post as frequently. Well, because my role at work has kind of transitioned. I
Oh,
was, I think when 2024 started, I was going to try to do like a video a week. Um,
Mhm.
but what ended up happening, my team, so I actually am at the point now where I manage a team of technicians. And so I have 3 other technicians under me. And so
oh, cool.
when work is full ramped up and we have 40, 50 cars, I'm I got one technician doing a quarter panel, one technician doing a repair, one technician doing a tear down. I'm dealing with parts, and then so just I'm getting pulled in a lot of directions. So
Mhm.
that's really
That
constricted making videos because I loved it. I actually loved it. Like I would go through and I'd set up different recordings, and it all started actually because thankfully, so I have a more of a team mindset.
hmm
And so when that comes to the service advisors too, I noticed it was very inefficient to wait on service advisors to come out, take their pictures, and then go through, and then they talk, and then we talk, and then we go through it, and then before I know
Mhm.
it, I got 90 minutes that's just gone, and
Right.
yep.
I still got 4 more teardowns, I got 3 more buildups, I got 4 more repairs, so I was like, what can I do to expedite this process? So I started myself just taking all of the pictures and then uploading it to the program that we use for the
hmm
insurance adjusters. And that streamlined everything. And luckily, the service advisor that I have, it's just like one on one. Like he only does Teslas, I only did Teslas. So the
Mm.
relationship got to the point where I pretty much did all the back technician stuff, and then he just did all the front end stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously, that he was like, "This is amazing. This saves me so much time too." So then I can
Oh yeah.
actually write estimates. I can actually order parts. I can actually do. He could do his job efficiently too. And
hmm
so one day I was just sitting there, and I was like, I have so many pictures of cars and broken pieces on my phone. I was like, why don't I just start making videos or something, or just like start recording
Yeah.
welding? So that's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
And before I was like, let me make like 10 videos and then just see what happens. And some of the videos got like some traction. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I enjoyed editing. But I
hmm
did find, like you said, you just spend, it's maybe a 10-second reel, but
Mhm.
you got
Takes you an hour.
hours just like
Yeah.
cutting little snippets and just
You got to make it
right.
perfect.
Right.
You got to make it perfect and get the audio to line up just
audio,
right. Yeah. Oh, it's endless. But it pays off.
It
I mean,
really
you end
does.
up with something that you can. I mean, so a good example. Have you heard of Bryce Kelly? Oh, hey, Chris. Sorry, Stefan. You do a great job with your videos. A lot of encouraging videos of my work. You should.
Yeah, you should. I agree.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Bryce Kelly?
Aiden. Oh yeah. So Bryce Kelly, yeah, that guy is crazy. He's so good.
Yeah,
So,
right.
So he goes out and he does those major repairs.
Yeah.
And his biggest value from those repairs are the videos. Because then now, like, you go out and you do a repair and you come home, you got paid for it, but they keep the car. You know, like you did all this artwork pretty much, and you get nothing for it.
Great way to put it. Yeah.
So you make a video.
He's doing artwork.
Right.
Yeah,
he makes
right.
the video. Now the video is his. You know, and he has that to share. And that's the value that he finds in it. And I think that's just awesome. I mean, my mindset changed when I learned that he valued these videos like that. Whereas I was just doing it, you know, I want to make my social media bigger. You know, it's like, no, the videos themselves have value. So
that's a good
right.
You're all into it.
Looked at it that way.
That's a good way to look at it, actually.
Yeah.
Car Repair USA, Eldar, he asked, who is this guy? He's got to check him out. So this is Tesla Surgeon over on Instagram. Do you post anywhere else or do any kind of other socials?
I don't know.
Okay, so just on Instagram. Okay. Yep, that's who that is, Eldar.
Yep, go check out his videos. He's got good ones on there.
Yeah, for sure.
So you said you only did Teslas. I mean, was it pretty much, what was it? It's like maybe starting not your whole career, I would assume.
No. So that started, so in 2018, I started, I don't know, that was every car manufacturer. All the basic ones, nothing aluminum, nothing high voltage. And then in 2021, I got the opportunity Caliber was opening up their first Southeast region Tesla shop. And myself and another guy included, just because of our metrics, they sent us to go and get all the training done for that. And that was in 2021. And much like your glue pulling experience, where you go back and you watch the old video and you're like, why was I using that? Oh yeah. Now I remember there would be, when I first started, it's the learning curve. Like you're way down here and I was spending hours just to do a simple troubleshooting code that now takes me 30 seconds. And so it was a lot of learning more of the troubleshooting stuff, because the collision repair, that all transferred over, except with Teslas, they're very specific with their procedures. So they're very much like any same thing.
Any OEM manufacturing
procedure.
Exactly.
And so that was new to me, more everything. And that actually, to be honest, it kind of made it simplified things, because it told you exactly how to do it, where to do it, what to use, and you just had to follow instructions. And so it got to a point where the learning curve, again, it was originally difficult, just learning how to do different stuff like a high voltage battery isolation. Like that would take me, before it would take me, an hour, but now it's down to like 10 minutes. And so it's just like the efficiency of working on the same vehicle over time kind of helped me progress even faster than when I was working on multiple different kind of vehicles, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
100%.
Right.
I mean, they say the dealership techs, they get super efficient because they're on one brand.
It is more difficult to learn each make and model especially when you don't go to one for a certain period of time when you're learning, and then you come back to them. And maybe the last model year, or let's say it's just say a Honda door handle on some of the older ones where you had to take the metal handles and all that stuff, the shims, and pull them out versus the way they have them now, kind of throws people off. So if you're not familiar with that, huh?
Remember those old Honda door handles with the lock cylinders that had the metal clip that you couldn't see?
You have to slide it over.
You'd have to reach in there. You couldn't see it. You just had to go in there with something blind and pull it out, and then you'd have to find it because it'd fall out. And then you gotta, and then putting them back in. Getting that thing to click in there with your hand up in the door.
That's wild. Yeah. A better repair says, how was day one in the shop? That's a good question.
That is a great question. Do you remember day one?
Yeah, day one for you in the shop.
I remember day one for me.
It was actually very easy. I remember I tore down a Nissan Rogue, and I was so thankful because now looking back, the second day was worse because it was like 3 Fords that I had to tear down, and I had never worked on Fords before, and I got to discover how much hardware and different stuff was and I was losing my mind. Like, is every car like this?
Right. It seems like Ford just went to the bolt bin and said, yeah, we'll take all these.
Couple torques, 3 different sizes, 3 different size bolts, some Phillips screws. Yep. You need the whole toolbox to take a door apart on a Ford.
All this. We're going to make you use the whole socket set on this one. Don't worry, guys.
Day one was fun. My teacher, he was pretty chill and laid back. So we were jamming out to music, and he was calm, composed the whole time. And he gave me tasks, and he's like, all right, these are your 3 tasks for the day. And then he kind of just let me do my thing. And I think he saw I wasn't, because you guys have been in this industry long enough. There's some people that get in and they just can't comprehend how to do something that is simple. And then there's some people that just pick it up really quickly. And so luckily I was capable of at least handling myself as a beginner. And so he was calm, and like I said, he was earning money off of me, so he didn't complain.
Right. And you was building a skilled trade that is really invaluable once you get to the top of the scale. I mean, you can take that anywhere you go. I mean, cars and stuff, they change, they get newer, but the processes are still going to be the same. You're still going to be, cutting and welding, repairing is going to be, it changes, but mindsets are still going to be relatively the same.
Yep. And what's nice is with the, the need for procedures and everything now, like you said, it kind of makes it easier. The procedures basically tell you what to do. I mean, it's not going to tell you how to repair something, but I mean, most cases they want you to replace everything anyway. So
honestly, I am so glad that they started doing that type of stuff and cracking down on that, because there's nothing worse than seeing a big giant quarter panel, half of a car roll up in your bay, and you're like, oh, well, I got to spend 4 or 5 hours cutting this used quarter panel off that nobody wants to redo.
Oh yeah, the used quarter panels. Did you ever do a used quarter panel?
No, so I think that was all before my time, because I would hear stories about you'd have to basically you'd get a whole section of a car, and then you'd cut the quarter panel, the used quarter panel. So that was before my time, thankfully.
There are things I missed out on too. Like I started it and we had spot welders right away. So right before me, they were MIG welding all those quarter panels on it, and grinding every weld flat. And no.
Yeah.
So I always had a spot welder. I did, because those used quarters, you have to MIG them on, because you just drilled all the spot welds out. So you have to. So I have done it. I know what that's like. But at least all my new quarters spot welded on.
Unless you could get to the back side of them and grind the back and then make the front flat without drilling completely through it. But who wants to do that? Nobody.
Well, I will say I actually do that a lot because it's cheaper and faster for us to get like a Uniside for like a
Mhm.
Model 3, a Tesla Model 3 or a Tesla Model Y. And
Mhm.
so then I'll have to
Oh, I
go
see
through
what
and
you're
cut it and section it. And so we might get one that has the whole gutter, tail lamp pocket, and everything on it. And so I'll have to go through and still basically section the quarter.
Yeah.
But luckily, it's all new. It's an entirely new component, so
Right.
it's
Right.
rusted or who knows
Yeah.
what. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, Nick. It took me a second, but that's a lot of metal to drill and
Hey,
grind through.
that's the whole reason I got a plasma cutter, because I would just cut all the heavy stuff, all the meat out.
Ooh.
I would
Yeah.
cut all that out, and then I would lay it on, and I would grind the backside. So technically, all the original spot welds would still be on the outside.
Mm.
I had this is early in my career. I had a used quarter I put on. I was starting at a new shop. I was trying to show him that I could do it. And so he's like, "Yeah, I got this used quarter for you." So, okay. All right. Thing was full Bondo, the used one.
Mhm.
Still had to use it. And he refused to call a glass guy to cut out the back glass.
Nobody
So I
wants
had
do
to
that.
go across the whole body line on the Audi. So there was a
wow.
weld seam across the whole quarter because
Mhm.
he wouldn't go up into the sail panel because he didn't want to take the glass out.
Yeah, well, that was
I'll
an
never
old
forget
old
that.
way
So how
to
long was
repair
that
cars.
point that you had a weld?
It was too long. The whole. I mean, imagine this is a used quarter that had already been smashed,
Mhm.
repaired, cut off the car, and then put on another car, and then welded. It was like this all the way down because you get that
Yeah.
long ass weld on that big area. Of course, it's gonna warp the shit.
So before Pro Spot started heavily marketing the i4, there was this company called, I think it was Linux or Linux, I can't remember, but it was essentially a resistance welder, except there was two.
I've used it.
One in each hand. And I went through a training class on. I watched a video of this guy. He was putting a quarter panel on a Buick, and he cut it straight across the body line, and he was welding, just holding it like this and just welding it all the way across there.
2 at a time.
Yeah, 2 at a time. And
Yep.
the video, no lie, it showed him doing that, and at the end of it, he's like, with a tool like this, you can get jobs done faster and quicker. And then it showed him on the golf course, like knocking one out of the park. I was like, there ain't no way, man. There ain't no way this is happening.
I did use that. That tool is single-sided spot welding is not allowed for anybody who does not understand that.
Right.
It is not strong at all.
This I think was in like 2008 or 9. So
I'm sorry, Alex.
I was gonna because I've never been exposed to the single-sided spot welds. So it's just how does that even work?
It's really just for show. It's just to look nice.
I mean, you can imagine you have the i4 electrodes, but they're not connected to each other. It's 2 handles, and you could go to the front and the back and you could do it that way, but that's not why they made it like that. They made it so that you can do 2 spots and one grounds the other and it welds both spots. Not well at all.
Yeah.
It's for show. I mean, even the i4 has a single-sided weld setting. If you look in the i5, all of them have it. It's for show. So if you went and you MIG welded and then you ground that flat and you wanted it to look like it had spot welds, you take that single-sided spot weld thing and go boop,
back,
boop, boop,
hit it,
and it makes it look factory. But those aren't real welds. They're just.
It's the same thing as those guys taking erasers and
the eraser trick,
dab it in primer and all that stuff. Yeah.
Andrew's comment here.
Yeah. He says, would you guys rather fix a lot of cars for lower profits and medium quality, or less cars for higher profit and higher quality?
I would go with the less cars for higher profit, higher quality.
Okay, Eldar, have a good one. Appreciate you stopping in, buddy.
my reasoning behind that, I mean, you ever hear that audio or that piece of advice they tell you to, when you're too busy, you own your own business, and they tell you to raise your prices, and you say, I'm going to lose half my clients. And it's like, but you're going to do half the work and make the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So that's my thought process behind less cars for higher profit, higher quality. And you're spending more time on one car, getting it right, and you're making the same amount of money either way.
I like that. That's smart. I know for me, it's funny because I started with more cars at the lower rates, and it's nice because I got exposed to that level of stress, that level of management, because there's a lot of moving pieces when you're a single technician and you have over 40, like 30, 40 cars in your production schedule. Like there's a lot of moving pieces going on.
Yeah.
And so as I then specialized and then increased, having less cars became such an like amicable process where it was just like, this is amazing. You're telling me I'm gonna do, like you said, half the work. So then all I have to do now is just turn the dial up on the volume and understand like knowing what I'm capable of. And then that's when you can really increase profits, where you do have higher rates, you have higher quality just because of the experience or because of the team, and then you increase the volume, and then you just obviously then you're just making more, you're just doubling what you're making.
Yeah. Right. That's that's a good way to put it. But like you said, again, that comes with all the experience and stuff. So going to that part, what was something that you might have struggled with starting out, like versus something that was pretty easy to you?
Yeah,
Do you have
definitely.
anything?
Yeah, I mean, I still struggle with stuff every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I tore apart a Maserati, and we just taking the front bumper off on this Maserati was a struggle. So
Right. Right.
I was like, but when I first started, I remember my first rear body. I got a Toyota RAV4 rear body, and that was my
I
first.
already know where this is going.
Yeah.
And
I do too.
just the amount of time that it took to get all of the sandwiched pieces. And I think it was intentionally, like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I just thought it was going to be like a Nissan Sentra rear body. You just cut the outside, put it back on, you're done in 2 hours. But no, this was like, this one car was my nightmare for about a week. And
yeah.
So James? I think what I struggled with at first was just the lack of knowledge. Like I just didn't know what tools to use best for what job. I didn't know how to tackle something. But really just starting and then sweating, getting angry, smashing fingers, cutting hands, like through that process. Now it's kind of taught me, okay, you kind of learn, okay, so this rear body, I can do this. But yeah, that was my first biggest headache, was a Toyota RAV4 rear body was, and I find out that you can, like, it gets sectioned in the middle, and then it's just all sorts of chaos. It was, and for me to be doing that like 3 months into just ever working on a car, I was definitely, I was up to here in my knowledge.
They threw you to the wolves, man.
Yeah,
that's what they did. They knew they were in the back of the shop.
They're all just back there just laughing.
Probably so.
That kid struggle.
Yeah,
he's got to cut both of these quarter panels off to get this thing on there. What is he doing?
That's what it feels like when you're doing it.
Yeah, right.
My first one, I had them so far bent back so I could shove that thing in. Oh God,
those are wild.
As soon as you said RAV4 rear body, I knew exactly where you were going.
I've been down the same road more than once.
You know what you do from that point on? You repair them.
You repair
Right. Yeah, we repair them with glue pull. Yep. Oh man, that's I'll never change one of those. I mean, it's literally got to be hacked into pieces for me to change one of those.
Chris is out here getting some of the PDR sayings.
He says, "Oh, dude, I finally heard it. A guy told me not to worry about the little hail dents, that the sun would heat up and they won't go away."
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Like processes and stuff, like you were just learning from experience, like being able to take all your bolts and organize them, and that kind of stuff speeds up a lot of that process that you're talking about. Like if you just stick like a bunch of pile of bolts on a vehicle that you're not really sure about, and then you don't know where they go, that right there is something that can definitely like be troublesome to you. So that was something that for me was difficult in a process. That was one thing like that after I figured out, hey, let me label this kind of stuff, and then speed comes with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, rear bodies and stuff like that's crazy, but people like to find these like new people hidden gems, like per se. So like lining like uh, panels, like putting panels back up, and making sure the gaps are nice and all that stuff. Bag and tag team, yeah, one of the best things. Yeah, there you go. See, Hudson, he knows what I'm talking about. You can throw bolts in the floorboard and not know where they go, and does this go on the front door? Is this go on the back door? I don't have a clue what we're doing here. But yeah, that's a good
why
thing.
I am thankful I was introduced to with someone who was very OCD about all of that.
Yeah.
So he asked about the first day, but the second day, I got yelled at and pretty scorned, I guess you could say, about being organized, being clean, being just like even how you lay like parts racks, like just everything, how it goes on. Because every front door, left hand front door, right hand rear door, bag and tag basically, and that process. And so I will say that military did really that helped because we would do layouts. So like my teardowns, I'll have my guys or myself will lay every single item out behind a vehicle. Luckily, I have this space so I can do this.
Yeah.
The cardboard list. Oh, I've seen that. That's pretty good. Yeah, where you like
putting out boxes and shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having different procedures and just like doing it the same every time, that really helps me a lot. That helps me a lot. Just I could always reference, especially when I was learning, because then I could reference pictures and like I would lay things out how I took it off, and then in the order that I took it off as well. And that way, whenever I went to go reverse process, put it back in, it would help me, especially when I was learning, just kind of do things the right order. Because you like we were talking about the Honda door handles. There's been times where I had put in a door handle, but really that was like not the first thing that needs to get done. You got to mess with the regulator or airbag sensors or whatever it may be, and so then you're taking it back apart just to put it back together, and then might do it again. So yeah, definitely
my favorite.
Right. I've taken some stuff off before, and I said to myself, "Well, hey, that's never going to go back together."
I probably shouldn't have taken that bolt out.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on here. We'll figure it out later.
Man. Any of you ever unravel a window regulator cable by accident? Take one of those assemblies apart. Yeah. Oh no!
That's right. That's when you throw the whole supplement.
Yeah. Oh, this was broken in the accident.
Yeah, you got to do that.
That's strange. Yeah, it was weird.
Chris,
oh man. But yeah,
I do that a lot of times too. But I knew where everything that I wanted to use where it went, so it wasn't that big deal. After you get your process down, you can roll with it as you see fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was one thing that I struggled with, and it's mostly because I'm stubborn, and
Um,
I'm like, well, I know where the stuff goes. Why do I need to organize it? And it's just to help me find it faster,
Yeah,
really.
I was similar. I was taught using paint cans,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'd use different paint cans for different
Mm.
sections of the car, but generally there'd only be like 4 cans for the whole car,
Right.
so that's not very organized. Um, and they wanted us to switch to bags. I hated bags because the can, I could go up to the box and just boop, it's right in the can. With a bag, I gotta
Mhm.
open it, put it in. Oh, it didn't go in. Pick it up, but so
Yeah.
there's that. I got to another shop and the guy's like, "You're gonna use these tackle boxes. I bought a bunch of these. You're gonna use these tackle boxes." And I was kind of like, "The hell I am. I'm gonna use paint
yeah,
cans."
yeah,
And then it turns out that those freaking things were awesome. Staying
Mhm.
organized. I mean, literally down to like 30 sections. You could make them any size you wanted. So if you wanted to put a whole door handle in this tackle box, you could. But if you wanted to put it small and just the bolts for the door panel, and then just the bolts for the mirror, and then just the bolts for that, you could. And then putting it back together, it's like, you don't even have to think. It's just all there. You just grab,
yeah.
put it together, grab, put it together. It's
Mhm.
super efficient, and that's when I learned that organization is important,
All right.
and
And I love what you said
all
about
from
you
a
don't have to
boss.
think. I loved getting to the point where you had set yourself up for success. So then you can listen to a podcast. You can listen to Smash Masters while you're, you know,
Yeah,
being brainless at work. And
Yeah.
then,
shameless plug.
Mhm.
That's good. No, and I do the same things. Podcasts, audiobooks, all that stuff.
oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Um, so
Mhm.
yeah, you need to
So
keep the mind busy.
so we've got some of the hardest stuff down that you've done. We went through most of the stuff, but we haven't talked about body filler work in particular. Like, how long did it take you before you got really good at doing the filler work?
I still not happy with where I'm at. Obviously, I'm like I could be
Yeah.
better. You see
Yeah.
guys like Bryce, and I'm like, this guy doesn't even have to paint the car, let alone like. So,
it, it
but
it
as
makes you
far
just
as
want to throw it all down and just say, all right,
it
yeah, I'll just go.
makes me want to just cut the quarter off and be like, I might as well replace it. But yeah, I would say it probably took around 3 to 4 years before I found a groove of
Mhm.
how to get efficient, like how to find that balance between metalwork and when to fill it. Because obviously before that, like I think Stefan was talking about it, where if you fill it too soon, you're finding the lows, and then you're just wiping it again, and then you're spending more time with filler and just
Mhm.
making it unnecessary, and then your repair starts to grow. So I'd say it definitely took about 3 to 4 years, and it just took good night, Chris, but it took just a lot of more just time, just a lot of
Right.
repairs, and
It's
then
kind of like a process as well. I mean, you got
yeah,
to get that
yeah,
figured out.
and
Yeah.
then
Absolutely.
your eyes kind of learn like like over the time. I now look at something that looks smashed, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could fix that. But
Yeah.
then go back, 1 2 years,
Puppy Z.
and there was no way I would even try to tackle some of the stuff that I've tried to tackle now. But that just goes back to social media. I see people and I see what others are capable of. So that always pushes me a little bit like, you know what, like let me at
Hmm.
least try. Let me at least try on this one. And
That's
so,
awesome.
Right.
but yeah, it definitely took I'd say at least 3 to 4 years before I found a groove of less frustration.
So that's good. That fits right in line with what we've heard from other guys, from
Hmm.
what both Nick and I have experienced. I always tell people 5 years. It took me 5 years to
Yeah.
learn just how to do body work. I did it for 5 years, tripping over myself. Pretty
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
And so
From knowing
he's
nothing to being comfortable to repair a car on your own is about 5 years.
I mean, I see all the frustration from the young guys coming in the shop, and they want to fix cars. They want to fix cars, and they don't want to wash cars. They don't want to buff. They don't want to sweep. Maybe they'll do it for a little while, and then they're like, "No, I just want to do it," and then they leave. It's like, we're you gave it 6 months, dude. It took me like 5 years. Like, you got to put in some time.
That's that instant gratification that the social media brings us nowadays.
Oh yeah,
I have to agree that's part of it. I mean, there's whatever.
You have to put in work at the end of the day. You just have to. You're not.
Yeah, you definitely have to put in work, and it's just that's where I'll say I got lucky where I was, because so I showed up in June, and by September I was on my own. Like, just thrown to the wolves, because I was hungry to try to do, and I was willing to accept any job and every job. And so obviously sometimes I got in over my head, and I had to learn and then ask some of the older technicians for help. But it was because I was willing to obviously do some of the like intimidating stuff. It definitely took me a lot longer. So like I had to work twice as much as some of the other guys. But like you said, because of the work, like, you got to put in the work. That's all I could say.
Right.
You just got to
push yourself out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Don't say no. Just try.
Every step of collision, and as far as this goes, paintless dent repair work is a 1-up level of what do you say is intimidation. So once you get your going on, like, say you're good at R&Is, then you're good at R&Is and bumper repairs, and then you're in filler work, and then you're in heavier metal work. Each time it's a 1-up level of intimidation, and it doesn't ever go away, and you get used to it. But that's you have to put in the work. You're not going to be able to buy a subscription plan to become an A-Tech,
Yeah. Do they sell those?
Yeah. Asking for a friend.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, so that's good. That's good. That's good information, especially because I don't remember how many episodes ago now, but we had Caliber on, and they were talking about getting guys and running through the courses, and they broke a detailed description down of what they do. But I think it was a year before they had most people even kind of just familiarized with stuff, and they were talking about going through the journey of how they evolved their training to be more efficient, and it also. So yeah, that's good to see here and check out.
Are you still at a Caliber, Alex?
No, I actually switched companies to going on 2 years now. So
okay.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy your time at Caliber?
So I did, because of the shop that I was at.
Okay.
We ended up, by the end of it, we had really good camaraderie, and we'd grill out, we'd hang out together,
Awesome.
on all the holidays. It was a lot of fun. So by the end of it, yes. But when I first started there, I will say it was rocky. It was very
okay.
What?
That's
so I
any
hear
body shop.
I scroll through like body shop like groups and chats and all this stuff, and people are always saying, well, it's good shops have this or that, and it wouldn't be this if we didn't have these people. But I really feel like managers of body shops really make or break a shop in general, regardless of how good the techs are. Have you seen that in places you've worked over, or you might have had good managers in every shop you've been in?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a leadership. It comes down to leadership, and then it just bleeds down into the technicians and the different teams. I've been fortunate, and in my time, I've only worked at 2 locations. But I will say I've seen a lot of different managers in rotation with different technicians, and so I will say it definitely starts with the managers, and then it just bleeds into everybody else. But it can also go vice versa. I've seen it where good shops can actually cultivate and make a decent manager that much better.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then once you have a well-oiled team, and then you throw in a manager who, you know, has great fundamentals and is hardworking, and, you know, he cares about the technicians, he cares about the livelihood of everyone there, like, you have a great place to work at.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Oh,
I've yeah.
they're far and few between
Mhm.
when it comes to body shops. I do have to say, I mean, it's and it's unfortunate. I mean, all these roles that it takes to make a body shop work. I mean, one of them's
Yeah.
a bad apple. It can ruin the whole thing. You know, whether it
Yes.
be a
I've
parts
seen that
guy
too. Mhm.
or a manager or the shop owner or one
Yeah.
technician. You know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
One bad apple and the whole place can be miserable.
Right.
So it's if you've got a good place to work, that's great. Anyway, no, I only ask because you know, you hear good things and bad things about every shop, you know,
Mhm.
and Caliber's huge. They've got over 1,000 stores now. So you're going to hear more about a Caliber than you are the independent shop down the road.
Yeah.
So people like to complain. People aren't going around going, I love my work, you know, so they're going, I hate my work, you know, so you only hear the bad things.
Right.
So I try and point out, you know, because that it's probably not deserving of the bad rap that you see on the internet about Caliber. I mean, we had them on their TAP program. Sounds awesome. They
Mhm.
sponsor something to help military people to come into the trade. Awesome. They,
Right.
you know, just the way they adhere to the rules with OSHA and this and that sometimes you miss with independent shops. Awesome. You know,
Mhm.
so I'm having a hard time seeing a downside. You know, besides, I don't want every shop to be an MSO. I think we need our independent shops out here.
Yeah. I agree.
But
Yeah.
I
Sure.
don't think they're the reason anything's bad. It's
I mean,
unfortunate when you hear
definitely attract like-minded individuals. So,
Mhm.
hmm,
like once like you how you said you can have a bad apple, but when
Yeah.
you have solid people, that's just going to attract more solid people, and that's what I
right,
found for sure.
Right.
And I would say with Caliber, I will forever say I'm grateful during COVID. They still
Mhm.
paid us 70% of our average hours turned. And so
that's
we
awesome.
had no work, and like I would but they still took care of their technicians. So
That's
I
Mhm.
will say
awesome.
I'm grateful for that, because I mean,
They didn't
without
have to
that,
do that.
without
They
Right.
nothing.
didn't have to do that. No, that's good. No, so that's what I wanted to hear. So I mean, for those looking to get into the trade, you know, just don't read internet reviews on body shops. Just go
Right.
get that apprentice
Oh yeah.
program and get into
Well,
it.
and
You know.
definitely visit the shop. I would definitely go to the shop, maybe talk to the technicians,
Right.
even ask if you can spend time, like, you know,
Yeah.
do
Oh,
a
And
we've
do a
gone
prayer dance or something. You know, I
yeah.
would
we've
definitely
gone
say,
over a lot of that. I mean, I even
oh
like to
really?
tell people when you go to an interview, definitely tour the shop, and I always tell people go check out the bathroom. You know, like
Oh,
while
the
you're
bathroom.
touring the shop, be like, "Oh, can I use the bathroom real quick?" And then just even if you don't gotta go check it out. Because if it's a shithole in the bathroom, is that the place where you want to go every day?
Right. Right.
You know, like if they can't take care of the
Very true.
bathroom, you think they're gonna take care of, you know, the things you
Hey,
need?
you got
You
a
Yeah,
good
know,
point there. You got
that's
a
a
good
great
point.
philosophy.
so I always, you know, that's one of my main things.
Yeah.
But I learned these things by not doing it by making mistakes, getting
Mhm.
Yeah,
into a shop and then realizing, oh crap,
yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
After you wheeled your
So,
toolbox in there and set it up, and you're like, well, this sucks.
oh crap, yeah. So I learned over the years what things to look at for interviews. So
Mhm.
I've
Right.
got a lot of advice there.
Mhm.
Right.
Well,
Absolutely.
we made it. It's past 9. We made it an hour.
Yeah. We appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us.
Yeah, definitely. You guys are awesome, and I look forward to learning more from you guys. So, thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Absolutely. We
Absolutely.
appreciate you, man. Yeah. It was fun.
Sorry, I started that a little loud there. Play out music. But yeah, no, it was great to have you on. Would love if you get the opportunity to make more videos. Would love to see them, but I understand why that could be tougher for you now. But yeah, everybody go give Tesla Surgeon a follow. Check out the videos he's got on there. Some good stuff.
Hey, I mean, I don't know if you can or not, but some leadership training videos from technician to, where you're at now would be pretty cool for a lot of people. I think not even just repairs, but like tips on, what makes a shop efficient. That would be some cool stuff.
Or how to progress to a manager position.
Absolutely.
People love that. They eat it up.
Well,
now we're giving you homework.
Yeah.
Right.
You have my homework cut out for me. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. I guess we're going to wrap it up then. Say goodbye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.